Much of the media focused on the president's decision to take John Bolton in as his next national security advisor, his third one of his presidency here, but it completes what some are calling a warmongering class of top officials who are going to be advising the president. Just take a listen.
Now replacing a lame duck with potentially a loud hawk, John Bolton.
He has wanted for war with Iraq. He pushed and pushed and pushed. He wanted to go to war with Syria. Name the country in the Middle East he didn't want to go to war with.
Well, one of the issues...
And he wants war now with Iran.
This is a president who likes someone who can make the case for whatever he's doing on TV, and I think he thinks that that's what Bolton can do.
All right, I'm going to put all these guys as maybes on John Bolton. I want to talk to Fox News strategic analyst General Jack Kane and what he makes of that. You would think that we're marching to nuclear war as we speak, General. What do you think of that reaction?
Well, first of all, the reaction doesn't surprise me because some of the stuff is just so incredibly shallow. But this is about a president who's now been in the job 14 months. We all know he's a quick study, as most presidents are. He's got a sense of this world out there. He signed, I thought, the best comprehensive and accurate national security strategy I've seen any president do in my adult life. And it's really quite remarkable because it describes the world as it really is. Big power competition, Russia, China, Iran, rogue state, North Korea, radical Islam thriving. These are our major challenges, and we have to push back on it, and we have to do so with our allies. So where we're moving is because of Mr. Trump. He's comfortable in the job, and now he wants advisors around him that support his agenda, not somebody else's agenda, his agenda. This is not about John Bolton. This is about President Trump's foreign policy and national security agenda.
So, General, let me ask you a little bit about that agenda then, because John Bolton and Mike Pompeo and likely a Secretary of State, Gina Haspel, to head the CIA, they take a much less sort of globalist view of the world, whatever that term means, or to work with the international community, hence the view that this is they're keeping more in mind with the mindset of Donald Trump. But what does that mean? If you're less inclined to be a globalist or whatever, you are more inclined to be what?
Well, first of all, I mean, these words I think sometimes are not very useful. What the president has said from the outset is that he wants to work with our allies to push back on our adversaries. And he got an earful when he went out to the Far East from all of our allies and how China's been trampling all over us. He stood up in NATO with our allies there and said, I got your back here. What you need to do is pay up a little bit more in terms of defense. He went into the Middle East and in front of 55 leaders and said, I will stand with you against Iran, the #1 strategic enemy in the region, and we've got to figure out what to do with the extremists that are in our midst as well. So right from the outset, the president has taken a world view that the United States has a leadership role in the world, Neil, and he fulfills that leadership role in terms of bringing our allies together to work on common objectives and also to push back on adversaries. If that's a global view of the world, I kind of think it is, and President Trump has his own interpretation on how to go about that. He wants the United States to be treated fairly. He wants the sovereignty of the United States respected, and he wants the sovereignty of our allies to be respected as well.
General, well put. Very good seeing you again.
It's good to see you, Neil.
To that point and to what the general is saying, what if these tariffs are part of that same pattern, that the president is using them as a wedge not only to get economic concessions from the Chinese, but maybe more help when it comes to the North Koreans? You're looking live at the White House. The president will soon be departing the White House from Mar-a-Lago. He always has the idea that he could run by reporters and say something to them. We're there if he does. But more on how those tariffs become more of an economic matter and increasingly a military one after this.